Good morning, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. It's time for another Music Month video. Now I know that it was only 2 weeks ago that I did the last Music Month video, but that's because of the 2 weeks that I missed, so it will actually be a month now until the next Music Month video. And for those of you who don't know what Music Month is, it's where I choose 5 songs from one album that I feel represent a particular theme or emotion or event or anything like that. And for this month, I thought I would go with acoustic music, so simple acoustic guitar based songs, because it's summer at the moment and that's a kind of summery thing, isn't it? Acoustic music. I don't know. Not all of my choices this month are entirely acoustic, so it's not just that every single song is just one vocalist and their acoustic guitar, but that's the underlying tone for the songs in general. So without any further ado, let's get into it. The first track on my list this month is by an amazing indie folk singer-songwriter called Jose Gonzalez and is called Heartbeats. I can remember hearing this song for the very first time in a television advert years and years and years ago. It's quite an old song now, but the advert was for, I think, a TV company, and it had a really steep sunny street and like thousands and thousands and thousands of very colorful like bouncy balls all just like cascading down this street, and it was a very effective advert and a very good choice of music. I'd be very surprised if you hadn't heard the song before. It's very well known and it's been around for quite a long time, but if you haven't, it's absolutely fantastic, and it really showcases his classical guitar playing as well as his really unique vocal timbre. It's almost kind of like a whisper sometimes, and it's got the absolutely fantastic lyric "Mind is a razor blade" in it, so it's brilliant. It's a very good song, so that's track number 1 on my list. Track number 2 is by an artist that I've mentioned lots of times before. He's one of my favorite artists. It's by Paul Thomas Saunders and it's called Under Atacama Stars. This is one of the less acoustic tracks on the list, so there's a bit more going on than just an acoustic guitar, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's available on his Good Women EP, which obviously he released before his actual album came out. And the studio version of this song that he's got up on Spotify and iTunes is really good. I've got it on my phone, but you don't need to listen to that one. There are a few live videos of him playing that song around on YouTube, and any one of them is great because he's like a genuine artist that can actually play stuff live. The lyrics in that song are absolutely fantastic. Paul Thomas Saunders has always had a talent, I think, for writing lyrics that include both the kind of relatable statements that are very down to earth and kind of just explaining things as they are. Like there are lines in this like, "In the end we all get hurt." It's very simple. He's also able to write the kind of dreamy metaphorical lyrics that make sense, you know, because you can write dreamy metaphorical lyrics that make no sense. It doesn't, you know, mean anything, but he can do it in a really good way. Like when he says "paradise of astral light," that's it's an amazing song. Track number 3 on my list is by an artist called The Tallest Man on Earth and is called The Wild Hunt. It's the opening track from his album of the same name. Now, The Tallest Man on Earth is a really cool artist. I was introduced to him several years ago by a friend of mine, but at the time I didn't really get into him at all. I thought that his voice was really it was too abrasive for me. It's got quite a harsh tonal quality to it that some people may not like, and you may not like it, but I rediscovered him, I think last year. I was just walking back home from work with my phone on shuffle and that song came on, and I kind of just didn't care about the vocals anymore because I realized how amazingly skilled he is at playing the guitar and at songwriting in general. All of his songs are just fantastic, but that one's got a bit of extra meaning and it's just an absolutely brilliant song. So yeah, The Wild Hunt by The Tallest Man on Earth. Track number 4 on my list is by Sky Sailing and is called A Little Opera Goes a Long Way. For those of you who don't know, Sky Sailing is a project of Adam Young, who is the man behind Owl City and loads of other musical projects. He's only ever released one album under that name, and apparently this is a collection of acoustic songs that he recorded before he started working on Owl City or anything like that. And after his third album, All Things Bright and Beautiful, came out, he released this as a kind of, this is what I was doing before I was making the Owl City music thing. Obviously all of the songs have been re-recorded. Actually, no, I'm wrong. It was released in between Ocean Eyes and All Things Bright and Beautiful. It is an absolutely lovely album, and it's one of those records that I just wish they would release on vinyl, even though I know that they never will. But if you could have like a bucket list of 5 albums that don't exist on vinyl that you could get pressed on vinyl just for you, that would definitely be one of them. It's really good, and it's got all of that kind of authentic Owl City and Adam Young vocal charm, and I'm talking about like real authentic Owl City charm, the kind of thing that doesn't necessarily exist anymore. But anyway, I just think that this is an absolutely great song. There are loads of really good songs on this. Again, if you don't like Adam Young's vocals, then you probably won't like it very much, but I really do, and I think that this album is absolutely fantastic. There are several songs that I could have chosen from that album. I think my 3 favorites are Brielle, Explorers, and A Little Opera Goes a Long Way, and Sailboats obviously, but I think that is the one that I listen to the most out of all of them over like the last few years. And it showcases some very good acoustic guitar playing. Right, the final track for this month is going to be by an artist that I have mentioned before, but only once. She's called Kate Rusby, and it's called Little Jack Frost. Kate Rusby is an English folk singer, and this is the bonus track from her album The Girl Who Couldn't Fly. It is an absolutely beautiful song. The only criticism I guess I'd have for it is it's kind of a winter song, especially lyrically. So talking about it in summer, it's not a song that I'd necessarily listen to a lot in the summer, but it's absolutely great. Kate Rusby has such a beautiful voice, and I mean like an actually beautiful voice that has its own tone and characteristics, and you can kind of feel the emotion in it, not just some sort of generic overemphasized pop vocal. And I've been a Kate Rusby fan for so long. I think the second gig that I ever went to was to see Kate Rusby in Cheltenham Town Hall. It was a bit weird because I think I was about 13, 14 years old, and I saw about 4 of my teachers, including the headmaster of my school, at this gig. It was clearly the coolest show I could have gone to. Anyway, those are the 5 songs. Now, the album of the month for acoustic music is unsurprisingly someone who I've mentioned several times before. He's another one of my favorite artists. He's called Benjamin Francis Leftwich, and the album in question is Last Smoke Before the Snowstorm. This is an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, timeless example of fantastic acoustic music. You know how usually if you're an acoustic singer-songwriter, it's very, very easy for your music to be really, really boring. This album, as well as his more recent one, After the Rain, is a perfect example of how to not be a boring acoustic guitar playing singer-songwriter. It is absolutely gorgeous, both musically, lyrically, and vocally. And I've spoken about Benjamin Francis Leftwich a lot on this channel. I don't really need to go into loads of detail about exactly what it is that I love about his music and him as a person as well. Having been to one of his shows and met him afterwards, and him just being such a lovely, lovely guy, like his music kind of reflects that, but it also gives you such an interesting and complex look into various things that he's going through and the various stories that he tells throughout his music. It's just a fucking great album, and his newest release could have been a contender for this album of the month as well, but I thought I'd go with this one just because it's a little bit more acoustic and a little bit more raw, and I just love it. This has got such a special place in my heart, this record. Favorite songs on this is a really, really tough question because they kind of all are, but if I had to choose 3 or 4, I'd say Box of Stones, Atlas Hands, Shine, and Snowship. But that in no way means that you shouldn't listen to the other songs on this, because you definitely should. Anyway, let me know what some of your favorite acoustic music is. If you have any music that you feel would really, really fit in with this theme. Do you agree or disagree with any of my choices? I would love to hear what you think, and I would love to be exposed to some new music, so leave all of your comments and suggestions down there in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you very soon.